Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to another vlog. I'm taking you guys with me today. Marcus and I are going to brunch in Oakland. So we're gonna go there with my brother and sister-in-law. And after that, we're going to the Alameda County Antiques Fair, which is, I've been about like 3 or 4 times. I love this antiques fair. So if you guys like vintage stuff, you guys wanna check this out if you're ever in the Bay Area. Sorry, I'm shuffling around. If you're ever in the Bay Area, it's in Alameda, which is next to Oakland. It's called the Alameda Point Antiques Faire. And I think they have over, I don't know if I'm like making it up, like 300 booths or vendors. It could be like 150 and I'm making it up and making it sound way bigger than it is, but it's huge. It takes the whole day to walk through, and every item that they sell there I think is like 25 years or older, like as a rule of thumb. And it's so cool. And it's on the old Alameda, I don't know if it's like a naval base or like an Air Force base or something, but it's really cool. It's right near the Hornet, if you guys are familiar with like the old Hornet warship. It's right over there. By the way, the Hornet I've been on to, it's supposed to be like the most haunted, one of the most haunted places in California. So if you ever like are curious about that, I've been. I didn't feel like there was any paranormal disturbances. Not that I'm doubting it, but like I was there during the daytime. But anyways, going off on a tangent. I'm gonna take you guys with me to this waterfront place in Oakland, show you what we're getting for brunch, and then I'm also going to take you to the fair. If I see anything fun, I will let you guys know. And if I buy anything, I'll let you guys know too. I'm not planning on buying anything in particular. My sister-in-law has just never been, and she's been dying to go. And they only hold the fair the first Sunday of every new month. So since it's September and it's the first Sunday in September, we're gonna go. I'm gonna take you guys with, so I will catch up with you guys soon. So we ended up going to a place called Bar Lago Kitchen instead of the lakefront, waterfront, whatever place we were wanting to go to. That place was an hour-and-a-half wait, and they didn't take reservations for brunch. So we ended up going to Bar Lago, which is a much shorter wait. The reviews on Yelp were really mixed about this place, but we ended up having a nice meal and we didn't have to wait as long. They have a really giant bar. They have fresh, locally sourced comfort food is what they advertise. It's right across from Lake Merritt, so you still have lake views, which is nice. I think that just this area, this neighborhood is so packed and so crowded that it's really hard to get a spot for brunch, especially because none of them take reservations. They had a huge cocktail list, which was really cool. Like I said, the reviews on Yelp were 3.5 stars out of 5 stars, so really mixed reviews, some super negative reviews, and then some really raving reviews. So it was kind of interesting because our food was pretty great. Our service was great too, so we must have just come on a good day. It was a Sunday morning. Marcus ended up getting a Bloody Mary, which he enjoyed very much. Looked pretty good, pretty swanky. I got the bruschetta, which was really good. It had fresh burrata and some heirloom tomatoes. I ended up sharing the French toast, the challah French toast, with my sister-in-law, which was yummy. And then Marcus got eggs al forno or something. I'm not really sure what it was, but he said he really enjoyed it. From there, we went to the Antiques Fair. I just took a bunch of random clips here. The Antiques Fair was really cool. So I did look at the specs for you guys. This Antiques Fair is the largest antiques fair in Northern California. And remember how I was like, oh, I could be lying that it was 300 booths. It's over 800 dealer booths. So the parking is free, and the admission after 9 a.m. is $5 a head. Surprisingly enough, the earlier in the morning that you go, the more expensive the admission is, more than likely because that's probably when you get all of the fresh deals and the fresh picks and stuff like that. Marcus and I personally like to go towards the end of the day, well after 9 a.m. I think we got there at this time probably like after 12 maybe, but we went and we just kind of searched through everything. We like to go just as looky-loos sometimes because there is literally so much to see. You can't really go to a place like this with any particular thing in mind. You can go with an inspiration list, which is what I would recommend, but really you kind of never know what you're gonna find. They have art, they have furniture, they have antiques, they have knickknacks and vintage clothing, all kinds of weird macabre things like porcupine quills, shark teeth, duck feet. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's kind of fun and wacky. My personal favorite thing to do when coming to this fair is to be looking through certain vendors that have crates of old pages from old books, and that is usually where I will spend most of my time. And for some reason, I love looking through the strange tchotchkes, like the mini paintings. They have really good caramel corn and kettle corn. I partook there. They have really cool furniture. If you're in the market for a big furniture piece, definitely keep that in mind, because a lot of the vendors refinish furniture on their own and end up coming up with really cool pieces. Hello, it's me from the future. I wanted to interject and kind of let you guys know, because I thought it would be kind of lame to just be like, okay, here's some random clips, like we didn't buy anything. So as far as the Antiques Fair went, I told you guys that I didn't think that I'd be getting anything in particular, and I did go in a looky-loo capacity, which I think is really fun. It's just a nice way to like waste your Sunday in essence and spend time with your significant other, go alone, go with your family. So in this case, when we went, I wanted to really put a lot of focus on helping my sister-in-law find stuff. Like I said, we went for her in a inspiration list capacity. So before her and I went, we kind of walked through her house and said, wouldn't it be nice if we had X for this space? So we just kind of went off of that mindset, and so I just wanted to keep my eyes open for her. Excuse the mess in the background. I'm sure you guys are not going to judge me because your guys' house, I'm sure, is the same. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys what I've purchased in the past from the Antiques Fair that really keeps me going back. So I actually have a few articles from past antique fairs that Marcus and I have gone to ourselves, and I did mention in a clip that one of my favorite things to do, I did not film it when we were there, but one of my favorite things to do while at the Antiques Fair is go to the booths that have crates of old papers. Now what they do is they have, some of these vendors have purchased really old books. I'm talking like, I mean, to me it's very old, like 1700s, 1800s. They have large books that they've purchased, and they've ripped out pages of these books and then individually wrapped them in plastic, and then you can purchase the pages. To some of you guys, that's probably like, but to I know I'm talking to probably a lot of you that are like, ooh, because to me, I am like all about that. I just love looking at the old photos, old pictures, old diagrams of things. And I actually decorated my husband's office, which is like part of where I'm standing right now. It's like in the loft of my husband's office that I decorated. This is like the background. That's like the laundry room over there and some of the extra bedrooms. But actually his space is really cool. I just don't have the camera flipped around because the lighting is really bad and you wouldn't be able to see my mug. But without digressing too much, let me show you some of the things that I'm talking about as far as old pages from books. Now, my home decor, as far as a lot of areas of the house, is very like rustic, country, simple. For Marcus's office, I really wanted to focus on a old worldy look. I don't know how to explain it. Like if it was like a crazy professor's office or something like that. And in general, I love the look of old weathered, like sepia colored maps and diagrams. These are just two that I've picked up, and they're still in the plastic because I have not framed them yet. This is a map of Denmark, which my family is very heavily Danish. So this is an old map of Denmark. It's really cool, and I don't remember how much I paid for it, but usually they're really inexpensive, especially if you go later in the day. The booth vendors are much more willing to negotiate on prices. So you could pay $5 a page depending upon how value or interesting it is. You could pay $1 a page. You could pay like $10 if it's something really extravagant, but it really just kind of depends. You can definitely haggle with these guys. This one here is a map of Northern Ireland, which I'm Irish as well, but my husband's family is half very heavily Irish and half very heavily Northern Irish. So there's that. So these are ones that I have not framed yet. I like to just keep them, and I'm talking like these guys have these booths where it's just crates and crates of stuff, and it's not just maps, it's like diagrams of like old like floral prints, old like advertisements like for like old beauty products. So there's like makeup, there's fashion, there's music, there's movie posters, there's all kinds of stuff. So these types of places, and there's a couple of them at that fair, are where I spend like most of my time. I'm gonna show you a couple of other things that I got really quick. Now, some things that I've actually already framed. This frame is from Hobby Lobby, which you guys know Hobby Lobby, like if you have a coupon you can get like 50% off of like frames and stuff like that. I have a pair of these. This is one of them. These are old astronomy diagrams. These are in German, and I remember on the actual back of the page the vendor in this case wrote like the year that the book was published, which was like in the 1600s. So these are hundreds of years old, and I paid like $5 a piece for them, and they look so rad in Marcus's office. I'll show you a close-up here. That's one, and it's just like old astronomy, like measuring tools and objects and stuff like that. I know that it's like probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm like obsessed with this old worldly stuff. I'm gonna show you the other one in just a second. This is the other one here, so very similar. It's really cool to have the pair. I just have them hanging out on a shelf in Marcus's office. Excuse me, but my dog is going to go crazy. Can hear her. But anyways, these are so cool. And then I have another thing that I'll show you that I think is really super cool as well. This isn't everything that I've ever bought there, but I do have like a few numerous little tchotchkes from there that I've picked up. My thing is like I'm trying to like purge a lot of the stuff in my house, which is why when we went this Sunday, I didn't want to pick anything up in particular because I'm trying to purge things. This I love, and I think this is so cool. This is super heavy. This I actually use as a bookend to hold up a lot of the heavy books in Marcus's office. This thing is so freaking cool. So there are a pair, I think it's like a husband and wife pair, that are like literally right when you come in to the fair, like right at the front entrance, and they're a French couple, and they have tons of stuff from Europe that they've picked up. They go to France back and forth really often. And these are, I was told by them, old fireplace ends. So, you know, like back in the day, like in the 1600s, where they had like, you know, old beautiful mansions and stuff have things to hold the logs in the fireplace. Well, depending upon the family and how much money that they had, they would have these big ornate pairs of fireplace holders where it holds the wood. So these are like sawed off of those really cool old fireplace wood holders. I don't know how old this is. It's super heavy. I think it's like cast iron, and it's just this kind of like old-timey lady with like a weird butterfly moth on her, and there's initials on it, like family initials. I'm sure it says AIR, so air. So these are so cool, and this particular couple actually has a few like on a regular basis. Every time I go back there I see them, and so they're really cool to have as bookends, which is what I use them for. You could use them as a doorstop as well. So I just really wanted to show you guys some of the things I bought so that you guys aren't like bored and you guys aren't like, you suck, you didn't buy anything. But you guys, if you're into antiques, you're into old tchotchkes, you're into old books, you're into old jewelry, art, clothing, vintage stuff, go check out the Alameda Point Antiques Faire, because I guarantee you it's a good time. If you don't mind walking, you know, if you're bringing the kids, bring the kids in like a wagon, because you're gonna have to tote them around, because I'm telling you, it'll take like 4 hours minimum to walk through, but it's so much fun, and it's just such a cool thing to do. And there's just so many random things there that you're like, this is how they lived back in the day, and there's just like weird things that you're like, what is this? So if you're somebody who's kind of like adventurous and likes to like scoot around and eyeball things, like definitely go check it out. I'm going to cut away here to the rest of the vlog because we went to some cool breweries that are really tucked away on the Alameda Naval Base, and you would never know that they're there. So I'm going to show you those really quick here, and then I will end out the vlog in just a bit. But stay tuned if you're interested in the breweries that we visited. When we were done with the fair, we visited a place called the Almanac Beer House and Tap Room, which is also on the old naval base. It was really cool, just kind of tucked away. You would never know it's there if you're not driving around on the base. They have two breweries right next to each other. So this one, the Almanac, is really cool. They brew all of their beer on site, and they have a ton of different beers to choose from. I'm not a huge beer person, but I actually had a lot of fun because they offer beer flights, which is really fun and a good way to taste small amounts of beer if you're not willing to really dive in and drink an entire glass to yourself. And they do have food trucks on site, so that was really cool. Next place that we went to, which is literally one door down, is called Admiral Malting's The Rake. So they also have food, but they have beer and wine as well. They have a larger selection of food, and it was a really interesting place because they ended up having what's called, I think, a floor malting system. If I'm not mistaken, I'll make sure that I link it down below for you guys so you guys can get to know all the science of it because it's lost on me. But apparently it's this really cool old method of putting the local grain on the floor to malt. Obviously, it's in a sterile environment. They let the grain germinate, they take the temperature, and then they rake over it with this big machine, and they really baby it. And apparently this is something that has to do with the process of making the beer itself really fantastic. So we had a nice time there as well. We ended up having pretzels and rosé, and the boys had some beer. So all in all, a really fun experience and a really fantastic day. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and don't forget to ding the bell if you want notifications every time I upload something new. See you guys!